On this episode, I sit down with my former boss, who's married to my former veterinarian, and are two of my favorite people to hang out with. My guests are Billie and Brian, and this Mixtape Therapy special focuses on their inspiring family dynamic, which is anything but ordinary. Billie is the breadwinner, while Brian takes on the role of homemaker. Both take their responsibilities seriously, showing up with a deep respect for each other, modeling strong communication, learning from one another, and what it looks like to face life's challenges, like Brian's dad's early-onset Alzheimer's, head-on as true teammates. We also talk about room service, IKEA furniture, and the philosophy of don't have, raise, or be a. Let's jump in.
Better not be anything hard.
Remember, don't make me look bad.
What are y'all doing tonight?
Man, we're staying at the Archer in the Domain. It's a really nice hotel. Never stayed at before. We set this whole thing up as a great excuse to have a date weekend. And my mom kept the kids, and we're staying at a hotel in the Domain. We went to 3 restaurants in a row yesterday and just did basically happy hours all afternoon.
Yep.
And then went back to the hotel, and then we're going to leave here and probably hang out at the pool and just do cocktails by the pool.
And then a comedy show later.
Dude, I'm telling you, man,
You got
best
to.
advice my dad ever gave me was don't ever stop dating your spouse. You know what I mean? And if we can find a reason to come have a weekend like this,
Exactly.
hang out at the pool, have some drinks, order room service,
Let's talk about ordering room service.
Oh, so
No,
we're-
seriously, let's talk about ordering room service. Let's talk about it.
Are we live now?
We'll do it live. Yeah, we are live.
I mean, what's better than laying in bed ordering breakfast from the hotel?
I think the last thing we ordered room service was chocolate cake.
Like just chocolate cake?
Just chocolate cake.
Oh, it was chocolate. We were in Houston. That was your birthday?
I can't remember.
We ordered chocolate cake at like 1 o'clock in the morning or
6
something.
months or so. But yeah, I wanted chocolate cake, and we went to one of the restaurants, and they didn't have it. Oh, I know. It was the Thai restaurant. It was that weekend.
That's right. Mikan.
And they just didn't have anything chocolate. It's a Thai restaurant, so.
So we went back to the hotel
I got it.
and ordered chocolate cake at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was fantastic.
I woke up with chocolate cake crumbs in the bed.
It's all right.
Look, I heard a guy say rich is being able to like live your everyday life or do your life and not have to worry. Like, so you can go back to the hotel room. A chocolate cake is probably $26.
Yep.
Probably.
And you can get it
Yeah,
because you set yourself up for success in that way,
Yeah.
right? And that's being rich,
right.
right? It's
I agree
being
with
able
that.
to do the things you want to do.
Well, and I'll say that, we're pretty conservative in a lot of other ways that maybe other people aren't. So, we don't just crazy spend money. And so when we're doing something fun, we're like, hey, you know what? We're going to get the chocolate cake. That's what you really want. So,
What's the most money you've ever spent on room service?
On room service?
Yeah, one bill.
Probably not that much. Probably $100, $200.
yeah,
We're,
less
we're
than
not
100.
super big room service people.
Yeah.
Usually
will,
because we bring our own
occasionally.
booze and stuff to the hotel room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're those people.
Hey, I'm that person
We
in
pack the
Vegas.
booze.
Like I showed up with an
Yeah.
old-fashioned bar and 4 bottles of wine to the hotel this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I'm not
like
gonna pay-
$20 a cocktail.
you go to the hotel bar, it's $18 for an old-fashioned. I can make one for $1.50. And it's way better.
Well, even when for our 10th anniversary, we went to Barbados and we kind of splurged. It's our 10th anniversary, and we stayed in this private villa, and it has a security guard and has a cook, and they'll order you anything you want alcohol-wise to have. And the prices were just outrageous. And so I figured out a way to bring the booze with us. So we put it in those little travel, plastic travel wine bags, and then you screwed the cap on, and then we taped around it, and they got those 2-gallon Ziplocs and took all the air and rolled it up, zipped it, and we had we had like gin and vodka and bourbon.
It was a lot.
As much, we looked up the requirements for Barbados and like how much you could bring, and so we brought that amount.
Because they say they'll stock your fridge for you, which sounds amazing, but then they want $180 for a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way, man. We'll bring our own.
Yeah.
So we had a whole suitcase full of booze that we brought.
Okay.
But it worked.
Is this fair? When I met Billie didn't seem like the type of person to be sneaking booze into Barbados.
No, she wasn't.
Okay. Now, the question is, that's the question. The question is, was Billie fooling me and maybe us, or did you ruin her?
No, that was me. I completely ruined her.
I used to be, and Jackson's very much now like I was then. Like he's very much a rule follower. Like he'll even bring up like the girls like breaking dress code at school. And he's like, I mean, those are the rules. I mean, you're really not supposed to be wearing shorts that short. And I'm like, Jackson, what? Like, what are you talking about? But I'm like, that was me. But now as I've gotten older, I'm definitely more inclined to break rules. Way more inclined than I was.
Brian?
I brought the fun into the relationship.
But the delinquents, really.
Okay, so
truthfully.
Okay, but you said that like you're moving out of that, you're becoming more delinquent or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So where does Jackson get that from? Like when he was
Yeah.
young, were you
Right.
still a rule follower or no?
No, I think it's innate.
Yeah, it's something deep.
It's
right?
innate. Yeah, I think that's just him. And it's so funny because everyone always thinks, oh, boys are gonna be just like their dads, and Jackson's so much like
He's
me.
so much
It's
like Billy.
crazy.
Okay,
like
so
we're
he
like
really is,
carbon
personality-wise.
copies. I mean, he's obviously got lots of traits from Brian and his.
We look alike, but he acts like Billy.
Yeah,
okay, so
his
Ava
workout.
is like you.
I think she's probably a mix of both.
Yeah, she's a good mix.
Ava's going to be much more willing to break the rules. She's the one you have to watch out for sneaking out of the house.
She'll be that one.
Like Jackson will
won't
never do it. She's
And
the
you
one.
already know this.
Oh yeah,
I already know.
I could have told you that 5 years ago.
I already know. She's going to be the sneaky one.
Yeah,
She'll be sneaky.
she's the one who'll lie to you. She'll sneak out of the house. She'll go do stuff. Jackson's like, nope. Mom and Dad
Look,
said be home.
and that's not to say that she's a bad kid at all. She's not.
No, she's not.
She just definitely steers more towards the breaking the rules.
Which
No,
is more like Brian.
definitely,
You
for
know,
sure.
I had my party days, and I
Yeah.
think it just makes it a little easier to,
Okay, so I have a question. And hopefully this isn't like outing anybody. But I feel like in the beginning when y'all started dating, Brian specifically told many of us, do not tell Billie about my past. Would that be a fair statement, do you think?
I think that's very
Okay.
fair.
Yeah.
So not that I'm asking you to tell about your past, but I'm curious, how much about his past? Do you know everything now?
Yeah. Oh,
She
yeah.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, he didn't keep it from me for long at all. It was just like, I think he wanted to get the first month out of the way.
You don't want your first impression to be like, I'm a pretty hard partier.
I think,
Yeah, exactly.
if you look at the way things started, when I met her, she was a doctor. She'd been practicing
Well, she's still a doctor.
veterinary medicine she'd been a doctor for 5 years, I think, when we met.
She's a new doctor.
Yeah.
And I was a broke part-time personal trainer. So I wanted to offset any of those like stereotypical things you would think, like, oh, he's just some college kid partying and all this kind of stuff. And so I wanted to kind of hide that part of my life as much as possible. And but eventually she got let into everything.
All right, Billie, what did you hide from Brian in the beginning? Because everybody puts on, they send their best, they send their representative, and then 6 months later, like, hey, I'm the real person.
Gosh, what did I hide? Did I hide anything?
I don't know. This is a good question.
Ooh. That's kind of deep. I really can't think of anything like on the top of my head.
Are you a very just like upfront, matter of fact person? Like, there's not was there nothing to hide because you're just like kind of like that naturally, just upfront?
Told him everything that he needed to know, I guess.
I think Billie's pretty. I am who I am. You're gonna like it or you're gonna not like it kind of person. You know.
I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I maybe there wasn't just like a lot I needed to hide. Not like I've never done anything bad, but
Maybe it
wasn't
was
anything
just
I had
everything to like.
to hide. But that's a good question, though.
All right, y'all ready to do some of my little mixtape therapy stuff?
Okay. What's
Okay,
that?
so
mean?
so
right.
what I just so everybody knows, I use this game and it's called Unpack That, and it's called Therapy in a Box. And it's got questions. It's the good, the bad, reflections, tough questions, things like that. So I had Brian and Billy pick some, and y'all are both going to answer these questions.
Oh shit. Okay.
So all the questions you pick, you're going to answer them as well.
So
So,
not good at this.
does someone want to go first?
Might as well. Let's do it.
All right. You want to? Okay, I'll let you pick the subject. The good, the bad, reflection, or tough question.
Let's do the good.
All right. Just take the first one. Oh, that's a good one.
Great.
Oh, you
So-
did the bad.
No,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
yeah.
I'm
like-
micromanaging
I'm like-
your
Yep,
podcast.
she's micromanaging
I'm like,
the
oh.
host.
I'm like, okay, this is good, and
That's something she hid from me.
That's
in
something
the
I hid
beginning.
from him.
What is that?
I'm a micromanager.
okay. So,
I like to tell everybody what to do.
okay, Brian, when was the first time you recognized that Billy was a micromanager?
Oh God, probably the first day. I mean, it's just it's her personality.
Definitely the first time we ever put anything together.
Yeah, I mean,
For sure.
she.
Like build something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you want to know when I knew we were going to make it?
Yeah.
We'd been living together for maybe 2 or 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Been dating for probably 4, and we got an IKEA bookshelf to put in our bedroom.
Those big
Ooh,
ones
that's-
with all the
That's a
cubbies.
relationship ender right there.
And all it is, it's a huge bookshelf, and it's got like 400 wooden pegs, a little anvil, an Allen wrench,
Yeah.
and the shelves.
Yeah.
And we put this thing together. It took us hours, and the floor wasn't level, so nothing would like line up right. At the end of the day, we put this whole fucking shelf together, and I was like, you know what? We did this. We didn't fucking kill each other.
And then we put it together in the wrong room.
That happened too.
And then we
The same one?
and
And you couldn't get it out the room?
it was so huge that I think we figured it out eventually, but yeah. It was like
If
now
we can
gotta
put together
take it
IKEA,
room.
we can do anything. We're limitless here.
True.
All right. Brian,
All right, let's hear it.
you are asking Billy. I mean, I'm asking it, but this is what you're asking.
So I'm answering.
Yeah, we're going to let you
Okay.
answer first, yeah. I switched that up.
Okay.
If you could do anything in the world with me, what would it be? What would you like to do with Brian, Billy?
Gosh. Retire and move to that private island in Washington.
I was
That's
going to
what I
say
wanna
that. I would
do.
have said the same
That's
thing.
what I want to do. You have to have invitation only to get on this island.
How do you get an invitation?
You have to know somebody that lives there. So
Yep.
that means that no one else can go. There's like 5 people that live there, and I've already found a house. So
Wait, there's
we
a
just need to
house
buy it.
available on the island?
Yeah.
So what happened to the person?
I think they died.
Oh.
No, I don't know. It's on Realtor.com.
I wonder what is that real estate sale like too when you're trying to like show the house? You're like, well, this
I
is
don't know.
the neighborhood, and you just like turn in a circle.
Yeah, and I think the island is of decent size, so it's just like a lot of hiking and whatever. You can only get there. They have a water taxi, and then you can have a boat. You can take your boat and go. They get supplies. and stuff.
Can you have people visit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I was just checking.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
mean,
you have to have, like, basically people have to officially invite you to live on the island. You can't just go get a house and move there.
Well, it's like Aaron's uncle. They had this group that they RV'd with. It was like we'll say 5 couples or 6
Right.
couples that RV'd, and so when they decided to stop being nomads or whatever, they just bought a piece of land and they made their own street.
yeah.
And so they all have a house on the street and they all
Yeah.
know each other.
That's
and they have
cool.
their own little HOA and their own little
Yeah.
thing. And if you want to move out of there, they got to get approval for the next person to come in. But wow, I was like, that's what
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, that'd be our place for the summer. We're really tired of the heat. Too hot.
Yeah, I'm done with living in 115 degree heat index. You know what I mean? I'm over it.
And the humidity's insane. So
So our goal is to live in New Orleans during the 6 months that it's cool.
yes.
And then when it starts to heat up, we want to go somewhere that it's not hot, you know. And we were looking at Washington State actually just earlier today.
Yeah, well, it was on the way here.
Yeah.
Because you were driving, you were like, hey, look for places for us to retire. That's cool. And I'm like, okay. So I chat GPT'd it, and it came up with a list of a bunch of different places.
Yeah. Summer highs of like 72. I mean, come on.
Can you imagine?
You know, just hang out by the water, barbecue all day. It'd be amazing.
No neighbors?
It'd be my dream. No neighbors. Yeah. I love it.
Okay. How are y'all such good parents when y'all are constantly planning for retirement? Like, y'all are constantly planning for your kids to leave. How do you? I was going to ask you this before. Like, just tell me how to be a good parent, because y'all's kids are awesome, and when I see y'all together and all together, it just looks like you're really. But maybe behind closed doors, you're like, it's a fumble bus. It's all over the place. So, what do you got for me?
That's a tough question. I mean, the kids are the most important thing on the planet. I mean, I don't think there's anything in my own personal life that I would put as a priority over something that belongs to the kids.
Yeah.
You know? And I think as far as being a good parent, man, that's tough. I think the most important thing is don't ever threaten anything that you're not willing to back up.
100%.
You know what I mean? Don't tell them, I'll take away that iPad. I'll take away that phone. I'll ground you, and you don't follow up on those, you know, accusations. I think if the kids know that you mean business, they're going to listen to what you have to say. And if you say a bunch of shit and you never back it up, they're going to know that too.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that all the time with our friends. You know, they say, oh, well, we grounded so-and-so because she did this. But she's got 2 friends sleeping over tonight. Well, they already had that plan, so we're going to just go and let that go. Like, no, that the whole point of the punishment is to go without the things that you want to have.
And the punishment isn't fun for the parent either, because like we've taken iPads away before a road trip.
Then you got to deal with it.
I know. And then we're like, that was the worst idea. Like, we should have thought of something else.
Yeah.
But I think too, like, you know, with us, as far as like our relationship, you know, our kids are definitely the priority, but we also balance that with knowing that at some point, you know, they're going to move on.
That's right.
And they're still going to be our children, and we'll still have a close relationship, but they're going to go and have their own lives. And he and I are going to be the two that are together for the rest of our lives. The two of us. You know, Ava's going to find a husband. Jackson will find a wife. They're going to have kids. They're going to, you know, and it's going to be he and I together. So we always make that a priority. And I think a lot of times parents forget that. You get so caught up in the raising of the children that you forget to take care of yourself.
Okay, so
your relationship.
So how about this? Would you say that being a good parent is really like how good y'all are together?
Yes.
It's a huge factor. And I think, and I tell the kids this, I'm like, you know, I promise you're much better off because your mom and I are happy together, and we love each other. We love spending time together. It's a much better household if mom and dad are really intertwined and really into each other. And I think that's so important. And you have to hang on to that, that husband and wife factor. You can't just be mom and dad all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think you have to remain husband and wife. And like this weekend's a perfect example. You know, you invite us to do the podcast, and we're like, man, what a great opportunity. Let's go get a hotel in Austin, and we'll go out to hang out at the pool. We'll go out to eat and just have a total date weekend, you know, and you have to spend that time together. And I think the relationship has to remain a priority. And I tell the kids all the time, your life is better, I promise you, because mom and I are happy together. You know?
I think Billy, I'm just kind of backing on what Billy said, is that, you know, a lot of people, when they have kids, the focus becomes the kids.
Yes.
And then they lose themselves.
Yes.
And then when the kids are gone, they don't know who they are.
Right.
Right. And I think that happens a ton.
It does.
And I really think that it doesn't take much work and just like logic to go, like, if we don't put us first,
right,
the kids are really never getting as much as they possibly could.
Yeah.
It couldn't be as good. It could be better for them if you would just put us first,
right,
and be teammates on top of that, right?
Yes.
I think a lot of
Right.
people just aren't teammates,
right.
you know.
Yeah.
you're setting the example for what their future relationships are going to look like. So they're going to want to be in a relationship that fits the example that they grew up in. And if you set the proper mold for that, then they're much more likely to be in a happy place with their spouse.
Okay, for each of y'all, because y'all have a boy and a girl, have y'all ever thought about, like, as an example, Billy, how I treat Brian is how Jackson is going to understand being treated well is, or how to treat, right?
Yeah.
And then how Brian treats you is how Ava will view how
Oh, yeah.
men treat her.
For sure. For sure.
And me only having one, but it being my daughter,
Yeah.
it changed my whole idea of this whole thing, because I was like, she's going to marry someone like me, kind of, in that weird way.
Right. Yeah.
And so I better
Yeah.
like fix my shit. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, if her example is, and the father that she looks up to is somebody who's not a nice person and doesn't treat her mom well, even though she may not like that, she's still going to be weirdly drawn to that.
Well, it's normal. It's what's normal.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I feel like, I go through this all the time where, like, people have had like drug problems and all, abuse and all that stuff. Like, obviously their life was tough, right? But my life was tough for me in my own way. And the way it was tough is that my parents set a normal that might not have been everybody's normal or the world's normal. But then I was like, if you're not doing it my way, you're not doing it normal. That's not normal. Normal is not that.
Right.
It's a different thing. And I had to figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I was fortunate to grow up in a house where I think my parents had the best possible example for a marriage that you could ever ask for. I remember we'd come in and eat breakfast in the morning, and my dad would say, "Have I told you today, how much I love your mother? Have I told you yet today?" And he would say that all the time. They would dance around the kitchen, So I grew up knowing that that's just like that's the best way that you could possibly live a life, and I got to grow up with that example, and I think it's been a big factor in the way that we live our lives, and I hope Jackson and Ava one day see the same thing,
If you don't want to talk about this, Brian, I would totally understand. Your dad had dementia, right?
Yes.
Okay. Being that your dad was like that, right? And then when the dementia like sets in, what was that like for you, or even like what was that like for your mom? Because it feels like it would be even more painful because he was so loving and outwardly loving. It wasn't like he was like, kind of cold. And so to have it change totally, I'm just curious like how that was for you.
I don't mind talking about it. First of all, he had early onset Alzheimer's, which is significant because, when a lot of people get it, they're, 85 years old, they can't hardly move, and maybe they forget how to put their belt on or something like that. But when he got diagnosed, I think he started seeing symptoms in his late 50s and was officially diagnosed in his early 60s. You're still healthy. You're able-bodied. He was driving. And my dad got really violent, which is completely against his normal personality. Would never hurt anybody in his life. But he thought he owned all the real estate on our street. We lived in a very basic suburban middle-class street. He thought he owned all the houses and everyone in the street was squatting. So he would literally walk to someone's house and start banging on their door at 7:00 at night, trying to kick the door in to kick him out because he owned the property and they were just squatting on him, We had cops come to the house multiple times. It was pretty extreme. Probably the worst disease that I could ever imagine someone going through. He went from being the most mild-mannered person to just completely, losing it. It was tough.
Were there ever points where he would show that affection to your mom or you in that way, in that fun way that he was before, or did it kind of all go away?
It pretty much all went away. I remember the last point when he finally turned on me. He thought I was trying to kill him. Sorry, didn't know we were going to talk about this. He came over to the house. It's probably about a year before we got him in a home, and he got a stomach ache, and thought that I was poisoning him, trying to kill him, and like tried to fucking attack me, jump on me. We had to run Jackson and Abe in the house and all kinds of stuff, but. I just hit a point where he didn't know what was real and what wasn't, you know, and it's you know, your mind controls everything. Once it's gone, it's gone. So he became a completely different person. We had cops come to the house. I remember the last time because he was trying to get into people's homes, and he ran for the cop with a butcher knife. And they tased him, knocked him out, and that's how we got him into a home. But
He hit his head, and he had a brain bleed, and so he had to get life flighted, and it was pretty bad.
but never the person who he would have never done something like that in his life. And that's what's so crazy about it is, you know, he was the most mild-mannered, peaceful person you'd ever met. And, you know, your brain gets scrambled and you can't do anything about it. It's scary.
All right, one more, and I'll let you go. I'll let the subject go. Is it like two different people? Like you knew your dad, and then there was just this like other guy.
Yes. It's two different people.
Do you remember kind of like saying goodbye to your to your dad, and then you're like almost kind of hello to this new dude, and you're like, okay, I have to, almost like my dad is already gone. Does that make sense?
I never said goodbye to him. I didn't know at the pace that it was happening.
So you thought you had a lot more time.
So I have a Facebook memory that pops up every year, and he and I went to a Rockets game together. And at the time, I was working for you probably remember this. I was working for MyFitFoods, and one of the things they were tasking me with was potentially putting a MyFitFoods kind of kiosk in the Rocket Stadium, right? So you go by, you know, Pappas Barbecue or whatever, and you have a MyFitFoods option there. So I'd met with a guy, and we kind of talked about doing a deal, and we went to lunch a couple of times, and we kind of been negotiating stuff. And I took my dad to a Rockets game for his birthday. I'm cheap. We bought upper level seats, and we're at the Rockets game. And I texted my buddy that worked for the team. I was like, hey, man, if you want to come out and say hello, we're sitting in this section or whatever. And he came by in the middle of the first quarter and he goes, hey, do you guys want to sit like lower to the court? I was like, well, yeah, of course. He took us down to where the media and the cameras and stuff are. I mean, you had like a fold-out seat on the floor.
Wow.
And we sat courtside. And I have a picture of my dad and I courtside of the Rockets game. And that's probably the last time I remember having a real conversation.
What y'all talk about? Do you remember?
Just
Stuff.
just life, just, you know, enjoying life, going to a game, being able to sit courtside. Like I remember Carmelo Anthony fucking lost the ball, and I threw the ball back to him. It was like, holy shit, that's fucking Carmelo Anthony, you know. And they're like 6'7", you know. You see it on the floor; they're massive. But it's, I think, probably the last time I remember having like a real conversation to where he understood what I
Made
was
sense.
saying, and like I could say something, and it was just the two of us talking. And I think beyond that, there was probably a few years before he passed before we even had like a normal dialect.
He always did light up though when the kids came in.
Oh God,
always
he
loved
loved the
children.
kids, dude. I mean,
Even
he
at
would-
the end.
Oh yeah.
dude, even at the end, even when I'm talking, even he couldn't even speak anymore. And, you know, he had to be, I'm talking like he had to be changed, cleaned. Ava would come in there and like crawl up in his lap, and he would beam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it
could
was
tell he was
just-
happy.
It was the biggest deal. Pawpaw.
Did you know your grandfather?
Yes.
What'd you call him?
Grandpa.
Well,
Grandpa
I
Brown.
had a peepaw.
You had a peepaw?
Yeah. And then my mom chose her own name, and I was like, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay.
I think you get to choose what you want to be called, right?
Well, yeah, because like his mom asked me, my parents have both passed, and she asked me what I would want the kids to call her. And I told her, I was like, well, my mom would have been Meemaw. That's what she was to all my nieces and nephews. And so she's like, I'll be Meemaw then.
Wow.
So now she's Meemaw.
All right, Brian. Okay, well, so Billie, this is Brian's going to answer this about you.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. It's not don't.
I'll be nice, I promise.
No, hey.
I'm just kidding.
No, you won't.
I may not be nice.
What about Billie makes you happy?
Oh man. That's tough to like bring it to one thing.
Boobs.
Boobs are great. Love boobs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's just go ahead and cross off all those things. All those
Yeah.
things. We all know,
Boobs and a big butt for sure. And no, I mean, I think way beyond that. I mean, I think the most important thing is she's an amazing mother. And if you share kids together, there's nothing more important than that. And she's, we live a very like unstereotypical life. She is the provider financially for the family. We have a small business that she, we're a single doctor practice and she's the doctor. So, at the end of the day, everything comes down to her, working her ass off all the time. And I think there's an appreciation for what it takes to keep that going year after year, day after day, when, it's a grind and it's hard. So I think just an appreciation for everything she contributes to the family, being an amazing mother, putting up with me.
Not that hard. Sometimes maybe, but most of the time not.
Brian, bring in your mic a little bit.
Oh, yep.
And then angle it out a little bit because you kind of talk towards me. I want to just catch it right there.
All right. Is that good?
Oh, yeah. Billie, what about Brian makes you happy?
Well, he's definitely always looking for a fun time, for sure. Always an excuse to do something awesome. He takes care of everything really at the house, so I don't have to worry about anything. So all that stuff's taken care of when I get home, which I know doesn't happen in a lot of relationships. I mean, you could have, both people working and there's not a fair split up of chores and things. Since I'm primarily working and he's very part-time at the practice, when we decided to do that, he was like, hey, if I'm going to be the stay-at-home dad, I'm going to take care of everything. You don't have to worry about anything. And I don't think that's always very fairly split up. So that part makes me happy. I mean, the last thing you want after you've been working all day is to come home and, everything's in disarray and there's like nothing to be, provided food-wise for the family. So, but, like when he's staying home with the kids this summer, they're doing fun stuff. They're having a great time, but it's also a balance of work too. Like they're having a working summer. They're doing CrossFit in the morning with him. And
Jackson's doing 2-a-days all
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah, wrestling.
Wish my
he's
body
wrestling
felt good enough for
5
one a
days a
days.
week. Yeah, right. But so that part makes me happy that he's included the kids in activities and being healthy and has given them that example. And Ava asked to do CrossFit this summer. She's like, I really want to do CrossFit this summer. Like, great. And she's got some camps and things that she's going to be going to. And Jackson has some wrestling camps. But when they're not at camp, they're...
Yeah. Every morning, 8 a.m., kids get up in the summer. We go to the gym together. We come home. We have like an assembly line for breakfast that we put together. We make power bowls that we call.
Yeah.
But the kids, I don't do the whole kids sleep till noon, 1 o'clock. just waste the whole summer away. Like
Yeah.
you're going to get up, we're going to go work out, we're going to go
Yeah.
train. You know what I mean? We're going to cook a healthy breakfast. We're going to clean the house. We've been doing yard projects.
I've-
You know what I mean? Like,
They mulched, so I have no time to mulch. So instead of paying somebody to do it, it was like, yeah,
our kids
and
work,
I'll-
man.
we'll go out there and do it. And they don't expect anything. I will occasionally. They don't have like a regular allowance, but if they're doing like a big project, I will randomly give them money. You know, we have like the till account, and you can just transfer money, and then they get notification that they got it, and they know that that's not like a guaranteed thing. Like it's
That's not they're not doing it because of that.
no. Oh,
No.
and they're not. And they were like, I was telling them like, hey, I put money in your till account. And they're like, oh, okay. And I was like, it was for mulching. And, I felt like, I wanted to just give you something for that, even though, as you know, it's not required of me because you live in this house and your job is to help take care of it. And they were like, oh, wow, we didn't even expect anything at all. But thanks, Mom, which it's good for me because then they want something. And then I'm like, well, your till account. So it's money I probably would have given them anyway by buying a game or I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know? Okay, I'm gonna tell a quick story, and I don't even know if this is true.
Okay.
Okay,
Those are the best kind.
Brian gave me the best advice. Like when it was probably when we first had Lucy. Maybe we'd come up there. Maybe she was a baby. I don't know. She was little, and your kids are great. And so I was like, Brian, how do you get these kids to be so good? And he said, look, I just go to them and I tell them, we can do a lot of fun shit.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I remember this.
But if you don't behave or if you don't do what I ask you to do,
Right.
we ain't gonna do none of it.
Right.
Fast forward
Yep.
to me and my daughter driving in the truck, right? And I'll go like, hey, we're going to do this or blah, blah, whatever. And Lucy will say, we're getting to do this because I'm a good listener, right? And I say,
love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like your kids don't expect anything because they know if they do what they're supposed to do, they'll be provided for. Almost in a weird way, like like when people are really religious, believe in God.
Right.
If you do the right thing, you'll be provided for.
Right.
They understand that if they do the right stuff, if they do what they say they're going to do, that you will provide, and so
Right.
they don't have to worry about that money. It's not like you're
Yep.
giving them a bunch of stuff.
Right.
You're just providing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I want her to be like
Yeah.
that.
I told him I'm only required to give you shelter and food. Like that's it. Okay. So I got to give you a roof no matter how you act. I have to give you a roof over your head and I got to feed you. Okay. However, life can go one of two directions. If you do good in school, if you act right at home, you do the things we ask you to do, we're going to travel. We're going to go to Universal Studios. We're going to go to Italy. We're going to do all this fun. You can live an amazing life. And as long as you continue to do the things that you need to do properly, get good grades, act right at home, try hard in your sports, your mom and I are in a position to provide you with an amazing life, a life that we never had a chance to grow up with. I mean, we used to travel
Nope.
to like one summer vacation
Yeah. We had
a
one
year,
summer vacation.
maybe
in
South Padre
for a
once a
week.
year. I think Jackson's he's on his third passport and has been to like 12 countries, at
Yeah.
15 years
Not
old.
more. Yeah.
So we're in a position to let you live an amazing life. It's contingent on how you act.
And we started that early.
And we started that very
she's
early.
4. I
Early.
started it from like when she understood words.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
That's
and
when
it
you
is
start it.
made-
Because if you start it, then it's like raising a puppy. You have to start training the puppy when it's a puppy.
That's right.
If you decide like, oh, I don't like this behavior, and they're like 8 months old, it's a lot harder to fix it and course correct than if you had just done what you needed to do early on. So
And the kids know they like to travel. They like to go do stuff. And, want to act like an asshole? You don't get to go do the stuff.
That's right.
well, and that was a big thing
You know?
for me. Like when we were talking about having kids, it's like I'm not a huge kid person. I don't like dislike children. I'm just not like
Yay,
people are
kids.
like, yeah. Like some people are like, oh. I'm like, I'm not like that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And so my biggest goal was not to have asshole kids.
I think that's a fantastic goal to have.
I
by
want
the
to
way.
have asshole kids.
If every parent on the planet had that goal, we'd run out of assholes.
I
We'd
know.
run out. But like
For real.
apparently there are people out there breeding assholes.
I know.
They are.
Do you remember we made plans to have Jackson?
Oh yeah.
We walked around Harris Branch.
Yeah, we lived at Harris
Took
Branch.
the dog on a walk.
And I was like, oh, I'm, this is going to be such an older mom. It's probably going to take me forever to get pregnant. And we got pregnant
And we're like,
immediately.
it's going to be a year of trying. Oh, man. That sucks. Right away.
Right away.
It was instant.
We had a whole
best thing to
winery
suck at
tour planned.
Is trying to have a kid.
I'm telling you.
All right.
What you got?
Brian,
Oh, boy.
what do you think Billie needs to let go of?
What do I think Billie needs to let go of?
Her rap career?
I think so. She's done a really good job of this over the last few years, and I've consistently tried to make this a point since we've owned our own business. She used to get like a negative review on Google, and I'm talking wouldn't sleep for 3 nights. You know what I mean? I mean, just freaking go nuts about it. And I would try to explain, hey, look, you know, you and the staff do everything that you can to give the best experience possible.
There's people out there raising assholes.
There's people out there raising assholes, right?
And that's one of them.
You can't make every single person happy. Like if you get 99% of your reviews are good, like that's fine.
That's great.
There's going to be somebody every once in a while who's going to bitch and they're going to be an asshole for no reason. And it's okay. And we have really, like, it used to really mess her up mentally.
Oh yeah, it ruined like my whole weekend.
We'd have like a weekend away, and she'd get a bad review on a Thursday or a Friday, and it'd be a train wreck. And we have been working on, like, you know what? That's just not the kind of person we want in our practice. It's fine. We're good.
I'm a perfectionist, so it's hard for me if I get negative feedback.
Oh, I think it's hard for everybody to get negative feedback, but especially when you're a perfectionist, right?
Yes, because I like always do my best, always, try my hardest. And so if I feel like somebody gave me a bad review, it would really mess with me. And I'd be, I'd have to like talk about it a lot. And finally I'd kind of like, okay, I'm over it. But, what I stopped doing is I stopped reading them.
That'll do it too. That'll help. Yeah, that'll
I
work.
stopped reading.
I told don't even look at them.
You know what? And the thing is, like, we have like a 4.8 Google rating. It's really good. And I was like, I don't need to worry about this person saying this. Like, if somebody leaves the clinic, I already know before, like, that there's going to be a bad review.
Right.
I already know. So I just...
Because they let you know.
They let you know. Or they'll be like, oh, well, if you don't charge me for this, then... I won't leave you a bad review. It's like blackmail. I'm like, screw you.
Bye-bye.
Get on with yourself.
Google rating blackmail.
Yeah, seriously.
Billie, what does Brian need to let go of?
It's a good one.
His basketball career?
The NBA scouts aren't coming around.
Probably he needs to let go of some negative thoughts he has about himself, his physique and things like that, body image stuff. And I have it too. That's what I think he needs to
What
let
do you
go
think,
of.
Brian?
I mean, you never, I didn't meet you until I was at 202. So I grew up really overweight. Like I lost 75 pounds in high school.
Amazing.
I was probably 200 and something pounds at 5'5", 5'6", no muscle.
Bowling ball?
Not a power lifter, just fat. And I think I've carried part of that persona with me the rest of my life. And it's always something that's kind of, hampered me.
Yeah.
And, working on being better at it.
It's hard. And, when you have body image issues, you have to be really careful too about not saying stuff in front of the kids about
100%.
your
So,
feelings about how
That's
you're
one of my
looking.
biggest pet peeves.
So
No.
I'm very conscious of that myself. And so if I'm, feeling like bloated and I don't feel like I'm looking good and like we're going out to the pool or whatever, I am always very conscious not to say anything in front of the kids. I may tell him something like, ugh, and he's like, stop. But
stupid.
Hey, that's what I say too. Like Aaron will say something, it'll be in front of Lucy, and I'll go, "That's just stupid."
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't talk like that.
You don't want to do that because it's like will affect your whole life and everything that you do.
Well, again, the example you set for your children,
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be how they talk about themselves as
Yeah,
well.
Yep.
exactly.
Right? So it's like it all comes
Exactly.
back to that example.
Exactly.
Well, I struggled with weight so much growing up, and fitness was always a punishment. It's like, hey, you miss a block or you blow a play, you got to do up downs, you got to do sprints. Fitness was always a punishment. It was never a positive thing. So when we were deciding to have kids, one of the things that I thought was mandatory was fitness just needs to be a part of your life. I know it's cliche, it's such a cliche statement, but it just needs to be like, it's what you
just
do.
wake
You work
up
out,
and
you
then you
brush
go
your teeth
work out.
every day, right? You work out every day. That's just part of it.
You're taking care of yourself, and your health should be part of your life.
It
Health.
should
Being
be a
healthy is
part of your
priority.
life, and that could be in the gym, it could be hiking, it could be doing cheer or wrestling or whatever it is. But you need to be active, you need to be fit, and it just needs to be a positive thing in your life. It's not a punishment. And I have pictures of both the kids in the gym when they were infants. They've grown up in gyms. They've
yeah.
been there their whole lives.
24-hour fitness, Jackson, as soon as they would take him at the daycare,
Yeah, when I got transferred to
Then
William
I would
Cannon,
go.
he was 12 weeks old.
probably.
Something like that. But they've grown up in gyms, and they work out all the time, and they've always seen us in the gym. Always, it's just a part of the. It's not it's a non-negotiable part of your life. You know what I mean? It's just something you do,
Yeah.
And y'all's attitude towards it becomes their attitude,
and
right?
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you were saying, I had a negative attitude towards my kid because I was overweight. But now with this attitude towards it, for them, it sets them a good example of like what it can be.
It's
Totally.
great. So like Jackson will get up, he'll look at the workout on his phone in the morning before he comes out of his room, and I'm in there having coffee, and he'll come in like, Dad, you see we got double unders in the workout today. I've been working on it. It's gonna be awesome, And he's excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ava will look at it. She's it's the air runner today. I'm one of the fastest runners in the gym, and it's a very positive
She
outlook.
loves that.
It's
And
something
there's-
they
and
look forward to. It. It's a
Mm-hmm.
happy thing. It's a positive thing, and it's so different from the way that I grew up thinking about fitness. And it's one of the best things for the kids.
And like I work out in the morning, so I usually wake up about 4:30 and go to the gym, and I just work out at Gold's or whatever. But I have like my routine. I know like what I'm going to do before I get in there. I have it on. There's like an app that I use. I think it's Rep Count or something. But anyway, when I get home from working out, and Jax wakes up, he's like, "Hey, Mom, were you at the gym?" He's like, "What'd you do today?" And so he's like asking me like, "Hey, what did you work out today? What exercises did you do?" And I we'll tell
It's
him.
just it's a very positive thing, which again, it's so different from me. Like fitness was always it was the worst thing in the world growing up. I hated it.
And the kids have good balance with their eating too. We'd get them a slice of cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory, and it would take them 5 days eating on it, and they still wouldn't finish it. They'd have like a bite like after dinner, and then they're like, okay, and then just put it back in the fridge. It's crazy.
And then Brian mows it down.
I'd eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost
I'd
ate
climb
an
in a
entire
closet and eat it,
cheesecake in
by
front
myself
of me when we
at
were
night.
dating. But their attitudes with it are very different.
I did eat a cheesecake in bed with you, didn't I?
Yeah, I made a New York style cheesecake.
That's when I knew we were going to work. Not the IKEA.
Yeah,
It was the cheesecake.
I
That's
didn't.
right.
I didn't shame him for eating a whole cheesecake.
She
in
made a
bed.
cheesecake when we first started dating, and we had a couple slices. I went back to Brian's house. I was living there, and got some clothes. Came back the next night, so we had the whole cheesecake minus 2 slices. and she went to do her,
The women's nightly.
the women
routine.
have a
Yeah,
nighttime
takes a while.
routine. It takes a few minutes. We don't do that.
It's a mystery.
So I just grabbed the whole cheesecake and a fork. No plates, no napkins, nothing else. And I went and I put SportsCenter on in our bedroom and put the cheesecake on my big fat gut and just started.
You didn't have a big fat gut.
I was just eating cheesecake, the whole thing, just the whole cheesecake. And she came out of the bathroom and was like, holy
Okey-doke.
crap, what is happening right now? But she was okay with it. And so we're going to get married. All right.
Yeah,
This is going to
it's
work.
gonna happen.
Y'all want to take a quick break?
Yes.
I was saying, if you're ever in Houston, man, you should come watch them wrestle sometime.
I'm so in. I'm so in. I'll be the loudest fucker there. I'm so in.
Dude, my
Oh.
mom, you have to
We're
compete
so
with my
loud.
mom
No way. I love it.
because she goes to every tournament. And you know what's really cool? My dad died 3 years ago, right? So she's been living on her own. And Jackson wrestled for the first time his freshman year. So this start of his last school year. And she went to every tournament. And she told me after the season ended, she goes, that's the happiest that I've been in a really long time. Is like having a tournament to go to every weekend, cheering Jackson on. She was like, it's the happiest that I've been in so long, is just watching him go compete and do his thing. It was awesome.
It's a blast.
There's this whole trend where like people are keeping kids from their grandparents because of issues they have with their parents. You know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
nothing. Probably there are very few things that make me more angry on the planet. And I made it sure, like very early in me and my mom's relationship, at least, I was like, hey, my dad, I was like, hey, no matter what we're going through, as long as you're not abusing my child, you will see
Right.
him. I don't care if we're not getting along, because like that's not fair.
Right.
I've heard that's kind. Well, so I know that's been going on for a long time. It had even happened in my family, not with us, but other people, sisters and things at different times would keep their kids away from my mom because they were having a problem. But I was just made aware that this is kind of a thing now, like on like TikTok, where kids decide that they've had some trauma in their lives and they've decided to not be around their parents anymore. They like literally cut them out of their lives. And it's not always like real trauma. It's like perceived trauma.
Well, I talked about this like a lot, right? I'm not the person to tell you when you should cut your parents off or not be friends with them based on y'all's relationship and abuse or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say with 100% certainty, and probably you can too, Billy, since your parents are gone, right? And you lost them fairly early, right? You will always wish that you had that time with them back, even if it wasn't that great of a time. And so you should
100%.
always be making the effort, because like, as weird as it is, as the bond of family is different than everything else, it's different than everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
like, there is a level of magic to it if you really lean into it, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I realize too, there can be like some really terrible and very toxic people that are parenting, right?
100.
But I think that sometimes people are kind of over feeling that, I guess, like, well, you never took me to Disney World, or you never did this, and now like my life is the way it is because you did these minor things. I think sometimes it's like some minor things. People are most of the time parents are just trying to do their best, and then you have these kids that have perceived trauma that isn't really a real thing. But
I mean, dude, I got lucky, man. I had the best parents that you could ever ask for. And my mom is the only grandparent alive. My dad passed 3 years ago. Billy's parents passed before we even met, unfortunately. And my kids are so close with my mom. I mean, you could tell them right now, you want to go to Disney World this weekend, or you want to go to Meemaw's house? And they'd pick Meemaw's house. They are hooked up so tight. It's a cool thing to see. And, they say being a grandparent's the reward for getting through raising your kids without killing them,
Yeah.
Because you just get to give them whatever they want. She takes them to eat sushi and she takes them to go do all the stuff. And, they just have the best time together. And my kids can't wait to go spend a weekend at Meemaw's house. It's like the biggest thing. I love it.
All right, this is perfect. I'm going to let either one of y'all go first.
Okay.
All right. What is your definition of love?
You picked it. Because I did not pick that one.
Like, I would not have picked that
I
one.
would not have picked that one.
I think when you think about love, I think it's unconditional. It's no matter what, you take the good, you take the bad, you take the flaws, you take everything, and no matter what, you're there. That's, to me, that's true love. That you have that person's back, no matter what, 100%, and that you're tied to that for the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what happens. That's love.
I agree with all that. I think, just being present, showing up, and, not feeling that you're tied to anything. I know you're like tied to that person. I don't feel like I'm tied to Brian in that way. And I know that's not what he meant, but like we're a unit.
Yeah,
Like
well-
we go together, it's like there's no me without him and vice versa. I mean,
Yeah, it's two people make a whole, man.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I was thinking about like how unconditional love is a lot like being a really good teammate too,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
No matter how bad the game's going, no matter how many mistakes the other person makes, like y'all are still in the same team. It's still the same goal.
sure.
And that, and so it's really weird, like, like y'all being tight teammates probably produces a lot of unconditional love, I would say, or that type of love.
And I think teammate's a really good description of what a marriage is like. I think you partner up and you tackle all the obstacles that life brings you the best that you can. And there's some things that I'm better at than handling. There's some things she's better at. But if you really team up, two people team up, you can kick some ass in life.
And then you go home and have sex.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
As soon as this podcast is over.
well, we
Yeah.
told the kids too. It's like the person that you marry is the most important decision you'll ever make.
It is.
It's going to determine whether
You're telling me that now, Billy?
It's for real. I mean, there's not a more important decision you make in your entire life than
You
who
can come
you hitch
home-
your wagon to, because
Exactly.
it's going to affect your parenting decisions. It's going to affect your finances. It's going to affect everything in your entire life. And if you can nail that one thing down right, you got a really good chance at kicking some ass in life. If you get in a bad marriage, you're in
Well,
trouble.
you're at work, you're stressed, and then you go home, and if you haven't married well, you're really stressed at home, and you have no break from it. I can't imagine like doing my job and then going home and fighting with him, and there be a constant battle. You never get a break. When do you get a break from that? So, we've told him that many times.
You don't. I'm not saying I haven't experienced it. I'm just saying you don't.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
We have a great home
your
life,
life
man.
is
I mean,
your life is screwed.
Billy comes home and
honestly.
we try to have at least a half hour in our patio every night that we can just kind of reconnect, outside of the workday. Go have a cocktail, sit out there and just talk about the day. Kids don't mess with us, and just,
Yeah.
have a minute to, see how things went and reconnect.
Right.
Okay, this is not a question on any of these things. It's just for me. What do y'all do poorly together? Like, what are y'all working on right now? It sounds like, because I really feel like y'all nail a lot of stuff. And so, like, ultimately what people go is like, well, like, probably they're not, like, good at that. And so, like, I'm just like, well, what are you not good? What do y'all have to actively work on in your relationship for it to be good? Other stuff is easy. What do you have
For
to
the
work on?
relationship,
Yeah, to be good teammates, what do y'all have to practice the most?
I just try not to be an asshole.
Do you do the same thing, Brian?
I mean, like literally, like everyone does it. You come home and you see this thing, like, oh, well, I asked him to do that. Dang it, and I wish he would have done that. But I don't
take it to the next
I
level.
don't go next level.
Yeah.
And I let it go and I'll wait and see. And then if it hasn't been done, I'll be like, hey, can you change the battery in the driveway camera?
Which I did, by the way.
Okay, good.
I did that before we left.
So
You knew it was going to come up, didn't you?
Yep. Did you notice?
no,
Yep. See, it's fixed.
I did. I don't have the notifications turned off. But no, I mean stuff like that because I'm a task person. I've got my list of stuff and I have a to-do list all the time and I like to get those things marked off and not all of them are for me. Some of them are for him. So it's like a dual to-do list. And so I just try not to be an ass about getting on him when things don't get done, I guess.
I mean, I think pay equal attention to the amount of things that get done
It's the ones that don't.
to the amount that don't. Instead of just going, oh, well, I'm going to focus on these 2 things that didn't get done, but these other 15 things did get done today. If you can kind of equal that out, I think that makes for a much better, conversation and much better livelihood.
I think for a lot of people, it's just really hard to do. When you get if you just come in from a negative place, you don't have a lot of gratefulness, right? And you're just focused on the negative stuff. That's all you see.
Sure.
Because sometimes I'll find myself in the same situation. Like, oh, I asked Erin to do this, and then I try to go, but what are all the things she actually did? Oh, she got Lucy to school today. She packed her lunch.
Yeah.
She did all these other things. So yes, I would like this one thing done, but I'm very grateful that she does all these other things because it could be even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the whole day. I mean, did the other person spend the day binging Netflix on the couch? That's one thing. Or did they try to do tasks that helped the whole household, become better? Yeah. And I think if you pay attention to that stuff, then, whether someone's contributing, what they should or not to the household.
Sounds good.
Do you want to answer this, Brian? Or did you kind of already answer?
Yeah, you can answer it. What do you feel like needs to be worked on?
Repeat the question.
What do y'all, as teammates, what do y'all need to practice on the most?
Wow, that's a tough question. Teammates is we need to practice on the most.
I mean, I'm not beating a dead horse, but y'all probably do a lot of stuff well because I wouldn't bring y'all on here if I didn't really think a lot about I think a lot about y'all and y'all's relationship and wanting you to talk about it. So there might not be much, but maybe there's something.
I think just understanding what everyone else goes through during their day. If you spend your entire day trying to be productive to contribute to the household and, if you don't take any time off, everything is contributing to the better good, then, I think viewing that as an appreciation and always contributing to the common good of the house, I guess. It's a good thing.
Would y'all say that y'all have a mutual respect for what the other one does? Like Billie, you really respect Brian and how he keeps the house together, and Brian, you really respect Billie and how she keeps the practice together and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I do, and I think it's very different than what's considered normal. I always thought in my life I would grow up being the provider, income earner, and obviously Billie has taken over that and has done an amazing job with it. So there's an amazing appreciation for what she does at the clinic, and I think there's very much a mutual appreciation for that.
He's very good about telling me he appreciates me and what I do. And I think a lot of times if people are in the same situation, there can be a lot of anger. The men can be angry towards their wives because, they're not the breadwinner, and there's the whole masculinity thing all wrapped up into that. And, Brian doesn't really have an issue with that. He's very thankful and very appreciative. And if I get home and if I'm calling him on the way home, and I'm like, oh, this happened and this happened. And he's like, hey, come on home. It's like, you put your feet up, we'll, talk it out, make you a drink or whatever, and you just kind of relax. And so I think, verbalizing it, the appreciation is very important.
Yeah, I mean, I think had the chance to, I had my own career for a while, and clearly owning the business was going to be a much better option for our family. So we take that route, and I have a completely non-ego, stance on that. She's done such an amazing job running the business and earning a good living for our family that I think things need to be fair. So you pick up the other end and take care of the house and the kids, and it's been really good for us.
Yeah.
What are y'all most grateful for in y'all's relationship?
Oh man. Wow. I think to me the biggest thing is loyalty.
Yeah.
I've never cheated on someone in my entire life, not even like a high school relationship. So you carry that into a marriage, and I think about just really committing yourself to someone for your whole life. Like this is our family, this is our life, it's me and you. Being able to say that with no doubt of anything else, that's the best thing for me. That's what I'm most grateful for.
And I think with Brian, I'm probably most grateful that he's such a wonderful dad. The kids adore him. He does everything for them. And so I'd say his ability to be an amazing father figure is probably what I'm most grateful for.
We got a list we can go through here. There's a lot of good stuff.
I keep coming in my mind back to, like, it really doesn't matter what y'all's jobs are. Like, who does what. Like, if the roles were reversed, if Brian was the breadwinner and you
Right.
stayed at home, it would look exactly the same.
Yeah.
In the sense of, like, maybe the house is a little bit more organized if Billy was at home. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, because y'all have, like, the respect and the trust and the
Yeah.
communication,
Right.
a compromise, like, all that
Sure.
stuff, that's what makes it work, right?
Well, the
Right.
biggest thing for me, it has to be fair. That was the biggest thing for me. Like everything has to be fair. If you have to work, 10 hours a day and I have to work 3 hours a day, well, then I need to do the dishes and I need to do the laundry and I need to, make sure the house is ready to go. So if you're working, I'm working, and I think that was the biggest thing for me. Like if you have to be at the clinic all day and I only have to be at the clinic for, say, from 9 to 2, well, then the rest of my day is still working. It's just a different job. It's maybe getting the kids where they need to go, or it's cooking dinner, it's doing the shopping, or it's doing stuff. So when you come home, you can relax, and it has to be fair. I think that's the biggest thing. Whether who's earning the money or who's, doing whatever, just everything has to be fair. That's the most important thing.
Agreed.
That's how we try to set it up.
This final segment is brought to you by HeyJustBe.com. I believe that achieving balance in the mental, physical, and metaphysical aspects of your purpose through learning, serving, and creating can transform your life into one you truly enjoy living. Want to learn more? Visit www.heyjustbe.com.
All right, so how I usually wrap this shindig up is ask people, what do you do to just be the best version of yourself so you can be good for everybody else? But what I want y'all to do is I want you to tell me what you do to be the best version of yourself for your partner. So, like, Brian, what do you do to be the best version for Billy? And then Billy, what do you do to be the best version for Brian? Anybody can go first.
You can take that one.
I think for me, it's having a hobby. Even in my house, I have a big garden. It's even bigger since you've been there. I need that time. Excuse me. I need that time to be away from everybody to kind of go work out in the garden, whether it's, deadheading roses, pulling some weeds, picking the vegetables or whatever. Like I get to just kind of go out there and do what I need to do to kind of, you know, go back in the house and be like, hey, you know, everything's great. Because, you know, my day is crazy. You know, I mean, you have surgeries, you have, you know, euthanasias, you have, you know, people crying, you have, you know, staff interactions. Like there's a whole lot going on every day, and every day is different. And there's days that can be very, very hard. And it's hard to just kind of go in the house and be like, hey guys, you know. So like us having our time on the breezeway is great. And then also just me having time away from him and away from the kids, even though it's just in the yard. It's like I'm just kind of doing what I need to do. And then I can come back in. I'm like, hey, you know, how's it going?
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's about dedicating, you know, the very first part of the day to myself, and that's to me and the kids. We dedicate the first probably 2 hours of the day to our fitness, and that's, you know, going to the gym, it's doing CrossFit, it's doing the Peloton, it's working out, and then coming home, and then after that, we spend the rest of the time making sure everything else is taken care of, so that, you know, when she comes home after working an 8 to 10 hour shift, she can relax as much as possible. And that's our family time. You know, that's when we go all sit on the patio, we go watch a movie together. It's, you know, whatever it is. So taking care of all the stuff behind the scenes. So, you know, when you come home, you can really check out, and it's just all of us enjoying each other, you know?
Would it be fair to say that y'all each spend a little bit amount of time setting the other one up for success?
I think we do.
yeah.
Like, was
I mean, I really thought about it.
Well,
Like,
when
how do
Brian's
you
telling
mean?
the story, he's like, okay, so I know Billie is going to have this really hard day. And so when she gets home, I want her to not do that, and so we can spend time with the kids. So he sets it up so that you can come home and do that.
Yeah.
And that you don't have to come in and go, oh, there's shit everywhere, and da da da.
Yeah.
So that it's an easy transaction. And so, you know, part of him taking care of himself is also setting things up for y'all.
For
too,
sure. I mean,
right?
I think if I have to work, say, 3 hours at the clinic and then come home, and she's got to do a 10-hour day, she's got to do 2 to 3 surgeries, she's got to see rooms, she's got to deal with staff problems. She shouldn't have to come home and go, what are we going to do for dinner? You know, the house is the fucking mess. You know what I mean? Like, we should be able to set that stuff up so she comes home and it's like, hey, you want to have a cocktail on the patio? And we go have an old fashioned on the patio for like a half an hour and just like decompress, and then come in and dinner's ready, and we can have a nice dinner, and maybe there's time we can watch one of our shows, you know, and you really have like a nice evening. You know, you spent the whole day grinding it out at work. And again, it goes back to being fair. You know, I think things should be fair. And I think if she has to, you know, run this business pretty much by herself, there should be support on the back end that when you come home, you know, you get to have a nice time. Go have a cocktail, hang out, relax, put your feet up, watch a movie, enjoy the kids, you know?
Yeah.
It feels like sometimes, like you say that, like you're saying, it's the least I can do,
It is.
right?
It is. It's the least I could do, because dude, I always grew up thinking, you know, I'll be the provider and I'll go work somewhere and I'll keep climbing the ladder. And I did that for a long time. And we had the clinic, and we decided to step away from that. And I think the least that I can do is to make it to where she comes home and we got a great house. You know, the house is clean. You got good food, whatever your, you know, diet you want to work on, you know, you're cooked to that preference. The kids are doing stuff, and we're all having a good time hanging out. And, you know, you spent your time grinding it out. Have fun in the afternoon.
I just, questions just keep going. Can you ever, either one of y'all ever remember a time where you felt like the other one disrespected you?
Oh God. I mean, I'm sure it's happened.
But I mean, like, if Brian really disrespected you,
No, I
you'd
can't.
remember, right? Like, I mean, you could be like, got cross with him or something like
Yeah.
that. But I mean, like, truly, like, disrespected you in front of other people or something like that. Because I can't imagine that.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
I
No.
No,
because
not at all.
No.
it really feels like there's so much respect and so
Yeah.
much trust in between y'all. That,
Yeah.
like I said before, y'all could reverse roles and it wouldn't.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I
He also
can't.
knows I'd go crazy. So
The repercussions would be so.
it'd be so bad.
No, I mean
It's murder.
So I mean,
I know how to get rid of things.
jokes aside, no, I can never think of a time where she's disrespected me in front
No.
of people.
No.
And as a guy, I mean, I think one of the most things you want most in the world is respect from your woman, right?
I think
And-
everybody wants respect, right?
And I think if your wife gives you like legitimate respect in front of your friends, and that's like the most, I don't know, it's a huge thing.
Yeah. He did warn me not to say anything bad about him. And I was like, "Are you serious?"
Wait,
I'm not gonna.
today?
Yeah,
Or,
today.
Just joking.
I'm like, when have
But-
I ever? Yeah, it was a joke.
It was
So I was
joking.
like, "Are you serious? You really think I'm gonna like?"
But no, I cannot think
say
of a single
something
time
bad.
she's like disrespected me or I've disrespected her in front of friends or family or whatever.
No. Mm-mm.
We do a lot of joking,
Yeah,
but nothing serious.
and you know if you carried it too far.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to assume that Brian's always the one that carries it too far.
It'd probably be me first.
Probably. Yeah, I would say. So.
That's fair.
All right. Well, Billy, before we get out of here, do you want to say something bad about Brian? Just to, I mean,
Just get it off my chest.
well, yeah. What, is there anything that we just need to know or anything?
Oh. No. No.
Sure.
I don't even have anything bad to say. I really don't.
Well, just for everybody listening, it is really actually like this. I don't like. They're probably like these two yahoos are just putting it on for the camera and stuff, but that's just not true. I mean, it is
Yeah.
really like this. It's why it's one of the reasons why I wanted you to come in, because I wanted people to genuinely see what it's like when people have respect for each other and can joke around and have fun and goof off. And have crazy stories or whatever it is, but at the same time, there's always respect, there's always trust, there's always communication.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Nothing bad.
Good job.
All right. When I get out of here, I always ask everybody to give me a hug. Y'all down to give me a hug?
I can give you a hug.
Certainly.
All right. Push those mics in towards each other, and then jump up like that. I hope that microphone stays over there. Thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate y'all guys.
welcome.
Thank you.